So one of the favourites going into this year's tournament is the Springboks. The Springboks are a fantastic side. They've had a great few years under Rassie Erasmus, but are they truly contenders for Rugby World Cup 2019? Here's my preview for the Springboks. Subscribe, leave a like on the video. Let's get into it. Not been at every single World Cup, which may surprise some of you, but the reason for this was that in 1987 and 1991 they weren't part of it due to the sports boycotting because of apartheid that was happening in South Africa at the time. But 1995 was slightly different. In 1995, they entered the competition and hosted the competition, and they won it thanks to a fantastic drop goal, beating the All Blacks. The memories of Nelson Mandela and Pino as well will run in the minds of rugby fans forever as they lifted the famous West. In 1999 then they got to the semis but lost to New Zealand, which we'll see becomes quite a regular pattern for the Springboks. Then they lost in the quarterfinals in 2003 against the same opposition in New Zealand. But in 2007 they were champions, beating England in Paris. In the quarterfinals then they lost against Australia, that was in 2011. And then in 2015 they lost in the semis once again to New Zealand. Over 2019, they've seen a very successful year. Let's look at their results. They've played against Australia, 35-17 a win. Drew against New Zealand in New Zealand, 16 points all. They beat Argentina very comfortably in Argentina, 46-13. Then they beat Argentina at home, 24-18. And just recently, a few days ago, they played against Japan in Japan and absolutely smashed them, 41-7, to get rid of the memories of 2015. The head coach, as I've said, is Rassie Erasmus, who's made such a difference for the Springboks. The former flanker played 36 times for South Africa and has played across South African clubs and has coached many South African clubs. He's also had time at Munster and as a director of rugby for South Africa, but took the main job in 2018. After this Rugby World Cup, he will step down from being head coach and take on a director of rugby's role again. They are coming off a Rugby Championship win, their first since 2009, so they are certainly in good form. But how do we expect them to play? How are they going to take on teams? Let's do some analysis now. Let's look at some footage and dig a little deeper. So what can we expect from the Springboks with their style of play? How are they going to approach matches? Well, they've shown that the forwards are comfortable on the ball. This is something that Rassie Erasmus has brought in by getting the forwards to be comfortable on the ball, happy to pass and happy to offload. Players such as Esterbeth and Francois Lowe have shown this over the last couple of years. They also use a really great tactic where they put one of the forwards in the back line, so when the 10 gets it, he feeds it to him and he crashes over, which is a dummy run and therefore enables space for the more attacking players. This will drag defenders in, especially of lesser teams. This was done really well against Japan recently. One of the key players for South Africa is going to be Faf de Klerk, a really intelligent player. He knows when to pass, when to do a darting run and when to box kick. And for Sale, he's been in fantastic form. South Africa have allowed overseas players to come in, so players such as Faf de Klerk, Andre Pollard have all been allowed to come back and play for their country. He's also a great tackler and he reads the game so well. He's a feisty character, but he will be key to them if they want to do well. Also keeping an eye out on the young scrum half Janties, who scored on his debut. He's quick and he will look to burst around the edges. South Africa also have a very strong scrum and they will look to get players on the crash, drawing in defenders, with the likes of Cobley and Costley will finish chances for them. Expect South Africa to get a... So the squad has been announced for the South African side. No Deante because of that ban, of course, because of that illegal substance. It'll come on your screen now. There you go. You can now see the squad. I'll give you a chance to read it and look over. Khaleesi, of course, is captain once again. Players such as Andre Pollard, Faf de Klerk, Colby all get included because of them taking away the rule about having to play in South Africa. Their fixtures are as follows. They have New Zealand first, then they play Namibia, then they play Italy, and then they play Canada in Pool B. Of course, there are two outstanding teams there, and you'd expect New Zealand and South Africa to get out quite comfortably. There is a predictions video coming out very shortly on the channel, so make sure to subscribe for that one. So, Who will they play in the quarter-finals? We expect they'll get out, and I think they'll probably get out in second, only just. They'll either play, if they get out in second, you'd think they'll play Ireland, but if they get out in first, they'll play Scotland. And you look at them two teams, and they are winnable teams. Sorry, beatable teams. South Africa can win these games. And I expect South Africa to go pretty far in this tournament. Really exciting under Erasmus, what they've done. And some great players as well who will help them to get through this tournament. So my prediction is that South Africa will get far in this tournament. But Springboks fans, I want to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Leave a like on the video, and as always, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon here on Rugby. Peace.